Hello everybody and welcome back to another Minecraft video. I am SubZeroExtabyte and today we are going to be building a house. There's an old saying about not throwing stones in glass houses, and I decided that I'm going to build my own glass house. I also have the carpenter's mod installed so can easily craft and build some really cool things. Let's head over to a flat piece of land that looks big enough for where we can build the actual house. This place seems good enough, so let's start digging out the ground to make the glass floor. We need to dig out a nice big section for this glass house. The floor can be a simple square or rectangular shape. I really can't wait to build this glass house. I'll be able to do so much with it, but I would have to be very careful not to break it. Now we can start filling the floor with glass so that we can have a nice place to walk into when we enter the house. I'm trying to think and come up with some different ideas of how we may possibly be able to build the house into a really cool structure with lots of stuff inside. I think I'd like a balcony to be built at some point. Maybe I'll do that, but I haven't decided yet. I really enjoy mods in Minecraft and the different things they can add to the game. There's so many possibilities and there's so many mods that it's actually crazy. Do you have a favorite mod that you have ever played in Minecraft? If the answer is yes, then feel free to leave a comment below and tell me your best mod and which mods I should try. As I said before, luckily I have the carpenter's mod and it has a special feature which allows you to change block textures. I will show you what I mean now by building another glass square floor but one block above the one I just did. Using the carpenter's mod, I can now place normal wooden stairs that lead up to the platform I just built, but I can change their texture to be glass. Now I can see through the glass stairs really well and they fit in. They look really ugly as regular wood. I'm going to do this for most of the things I build in this house to make them all glass themed. There needs to be a consistent theme. Consistent is when something is the same all around. So if my house is fully made of glass, it is very consistent. The more you know with Sub, teaching you new words every day. We basically have a really nice wall going on now that I'm starting to build. We're going to build up the walls around the floor I made. Minecraft is such a fun game and I think I know what I'm going to do when I finish the house. I'm going to show all of my friends and see if they like it. I bet they will enjoy it a lot. One downside to a glass house, however, is that you can't play hide and seek in here because people would be able to see you through the walls. I'm not going to lie, I think it would be really cool if you could see through all the walls in a house, and hopefully that's what we will build. We need to clear some room for a doorway to this room and then we can expand some stuff here and there so that we can make this glass house perfect. It is quite hard to place glass because it's not as visible as it could be. Or well, it was my choice to build a house out of glass, so I'm going to have to go with it now. This is actually a lot more fun than I thought it was. Our house is really starting to come together. As you can see, the glass walls have been built up really high and the rooms have been sectioned out. I think it's starting to look really nice actually. You guys should try to build your own glass house like me. I'm sure you'd have lots of fun and it would be really challenging to try and figure out some cool looks and ideas and designs for glass houses. Perhaps you could tweet me a picture of your house. I wonder what sort of person lives in a glass house? Maybe Wonder Woman, because she also has an invisible plane, so that would make sense. Now that we have roughly 3 rooms and stairs here and there, you can see that right now I'm actually adding a roof so that we could do a second floor. I just noticed that the sun is going down, so that might actually make it harder to see. I love sunsets and it is a really nice sight. Now that we have basically finished the roof, we can tunnel under the house and clear out a space for some kind of glass basement or glass floor or something. I'm not too sure, but I'm having plenty of ideas. It's a good job that glass floor is being held up, otherwise it would all come smashing down on me when I move the blocks from underneath the house. It is getting pretty dark now, so let's finish up carving out the space for the basement before we have no light left. I'm certainly very glad that I'm in creative mode for this build, as it would be next to impossible to actually go and do this in survival mode. Not only would it take days and days and days and days to finish, but it would also be very boring and very slow. We would need to dig up thousands of sand blocks and smelt them all into glass blocks. Then I would have had to place them all really carefully without getting any wrong, because I would have had a limited amount. It's certainly a good job that I'm in creative mode, and now you know why. I should probably put some torches up soon as well. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to make torches glass textured as well so they blend in nicely when I place them down on walls and other things. We're on our way with carving out this basement, but it's certainly taking a much longer time than I expected, even for being in creative mode and being able to instantly destroy blocks with one punch. At least this part is almost over and we can start designing the basement a bit better with lots of glass decorations and blocks. Wow! I've just noticed that it is basically midnight now, so I'm not too sure if I should continue. Perhaps it would be smarter to place some torches down here and there to light up the basement temporarily while we're still clearing it out. Let me change the texture of the torches so they are glass and fit in better underneath the house. That makes them look way more consistent. See, I used the word that I taught you all earlier on. Like the video if you already knew what consistent meant. Okay, now we can actually focus on finishing to clear out the basement. Just a few more blocks to go and we'll almost be finished. I'm trying to decide what part of the house I should do next, but I'm not too sure yet. I'm liking how this building is coming along. When I first came up with the idea to build a glass house, I wasn't too sure on the idea, but it's actually turning out very nice. There we go. That's our basement basically carved out. Wow. It took long enough, didn't it? Let's add some more torches and then we can leave the basement for a bit and see how it looks from above. I've had a really good day today. I hope you all did as well. I had cookies today and I know I shouldn't be eating lots of junk food, but they were really tasty and nice. Cookies are probably one of the best things ever. The house is coming along so well. I'm going to need to add some doors to the house so people can actually walk in. I'm also going to use the carpenter's mod to make sure that the doors are made of glass and look blended well with the rest of the house. Imagine if you couldn't walk into your house because there was no door. That's so silly and probably one of the funniest things I can imagine, especially if your house is made of glass because there's no other way of getting in without smashing the whole thing. Oh no. It looks like I can't actually place any flowers in them when they are made of glass. Well, moving on, we need to make a ladder that goes straight up onto the roof. The roof won't stay a roof though because we're going to make it into a second floor soon enough. We just need to build up the rest of the house and get this whole process flowing. It feels good making houses. Now we're simply going to make the second floor much bigger than the first by expanding the floor out. We can do this and then work our way around the whole building and slowly build it up. This is my usual strategy if I'm ever building a house. Always build from the ground up and remember to sometimes change the actual size of the levels of your builds because it gives them a much larger sense of depth and attractiveness. Oh, that reminds me, I had a cool idea to possibly build a balcony, so I'm going to add that right here on the second floor. It'll actually be so cool to walk out on a balcony and be able to look straight down through the glass. Okay. This balcony is pretty much finished for now. It's so cool. I am going to start building the outer wall for the second floor of the glass house now. Remember that it is always very important to mark out the walls of your build and plan ahead. Planning is a really good way of getting to grips with the build you have started. Thinking of new ideas is okay and you can always add and change up your plan without that many problems, but as long as you've got a basic idea in your head, then you should be good to go. Now that we're done with planning, we can actually add the walls. If we build the walls ourselves, everything will be great. Now, however, we need to start thinking about how to make this balcony really cool and attractive. I thought it'd be pretty interesting if we could add an archway or doorway of some kind. Of course, it all has to be made of glass, as this is a glass house and everything in here must be made of glass for it to be perfect. You should try Google image searching glass houses. There's actually some really good ones. When you're building something in Minecraft, it's actually really important to have an image in your mind of what you're building. Google Images actually offers all sorts of different ideas for buildings, so when you're designing or planning something, it's best to always research it and try and get an image in your head. Try and be creative and come up with some cool ideas and additions you can add yourself, like I added my own custom balcony, which I think is really cool and effective. It definitely fits into the build and theme pretty well. Now if you see, we have some really good walls for our glass house. The walls are actually really cool and the second floor now looks really interesting. Now we can go ahead and add some more crazy details to the house. You know what we have to add next, don't you? Well, think about it. What does every house need? There's a first floor, an upstairs, a basement, and every, or at least most normal houses have a nice roof. I'm not sure which type of roof I'm going to make, but here's hoping it works out. I'm going to build it bit by and test if it looks any good. I'm quite quite nervous as I'm not usually that good at building roofs. I wonder if we can add a glass attic. That would be cool, but I wonder what we would use it for. What do you usually use your attic for? I'll actually tell you a little fun fact about me. When I was a young kid, I used to actually be afraid of the attic and never wanted to go in. There were always really creaky noises and strange bangs and sounds coming from up there, and also the attic in my old house where I lived as a child was quite big and had no lights, so I actually couldn't see much and it was very dark and spooky. I was convinced a ghost was haunting it or a creepy monster was actually living in my attic. Obviously, when I was old enough, I decided to actually go and investigate to see if it was actually true, and I remember shining a torch, just finding a squeaky pipe that had been busted for all those years. Who would have thought? But hey, that's what the imagination can do for you, believe it or not. Our minds are powerful things. We also have to make sure that the roof is symmetrical. That means that it is the same on both sides, like a mirror image. I actually like this little roof outcropping that I have added. It makes it seem like a much more realistic roof, to be honest. Man, this is certainly hard work. There's a lot of effort placing glass down constantly with no change up of blocks. Okay, now I've just got to keep building the roof along like this, and in no time we will have a brand new glass roof on our brand new glass house. Isn't that cool? I hope you guys are all impressed by what I have built so far. I'm trying to imagine some funny scenarios that could happen while you lived in a glass house. Imagine if you slipped and fell. You would instantly go crashing through to the next floor down and be really badly injured if you're not careful. And all the glass would have to be perfectly smooth, as any sharp edges might cut you. You wouldn't want to cut yourself when you're literally in the middle of living out your normal day in your house. Looks like we're just about done with this glass roof. I think that's actually not too bad of a job. I'm really impressed with the work I'm doing today. I think I should start entering some Minecraft build competitions because I have some pretty good ideas now and then. Remember, you should always add a lip to your rooftops to make them look extra special and attractive, especially with glass because it's so hard to see, so all those extra little details really make a big difference. And I need to be careful and remember not to leave any holes in the side or walls of the house because that would mean it would be really cold. Now to finish the balcony with some extra decorations, we can add some fences and then finally some torches to finish it off and make it look like it's got a barrier. We can also make these both glass to blend in with the rest of the house, and this way I'm keeping to the goal to actually build the house fully out of glass. I hope my friends like this. However, I have a really sneaky suspicion that some of the guys are gonna try and throw a stone in the house and break a window, although all of the house is a window because everything is glass. It's actually really weird when you think about it. Okay, I think that we need to figure out some more things that we can actually add to decorate the house. Let's head down the ladder to the first floor. We can place down these blocks. I'm going to place a few more of these blocks just to ensure everything is right. You know, if you have any more ideas for the house, remember to leave them in the comments section below and discuss with your friends all the various ways to build a glass house. Also, I need to decide what other things to build, so you could let me know that over my social medias such as Twitter. I could try and build an all sand house rather than glass, but something tells me that would be very difficult indeed. I have a feeling that it would all collapse everywhere in heaps. At least glass is solid and won't fall, although it does smash. I need an actual ladder, but the wood I was using to hold it looks really ugly and I can't make it glass because otherwise the ladders wouldn't fit. Perhaps I can just try using a lighter block. If I had to pick a color to blend in with glass, it would be white. So what sort of blocks can we use that are white just for this one bit? I'm not too sure. It's quite hard to figure this one out. I think I'm just going to go with wool because that's white and white is pretty close to see-through. I wonder which other blocks we could place down. What sort of things does a second floor usually have? Oh, I know. A lot of times an upstairs has a bed, so we can place that down in a second. Also, it's important to note that they are also made out of wool, so it's very consistent and fits the theme. I'm glad that the building process is coming to an end. I want to lie down and actually enjoy my build. The balcony is definitely my favorite part of the entire house, as you can look straight down and it's very scary. Now the bed is placed, we can actually pimp it out with some cool stairs. And of course it's a super duper master triple bed because it's my house and I enjoy having having lots of open space when I'm sleeping. We can also add some bed stands to the side and it will make it a lot more cozier. We can make these with fences because they look like poles, so it's actually really nice to look at. And with that, I think my house it's actually fully complete and built. I hope you guys like it and have learned something from this video on how to build things with glass. Thank you for watching me build this house. In the end, I actually thought it turned out really well. You can pretty much see through the entire thing. Now I just need to go invite my friends to come and look at it and see if they don't try and smash it. That would be disastrous, as you've all seen just how hard I've worked on this today. It's been quite stressful but actually very fun and challenging at the same time. I would definitely recommend it to you guys to try out if you're ever playing Minecraft. Anyways, I have to go and eat some more cookies as usual, so I will catch you all in the next video.